Doing live. We are live, guys. Welcome to EPNS. Now, Gabby, tell us again, what is EP? Because here's the thing. Hold on a second. I think I have my banner incorrect here. I put Easton Park Neighborhood Specialist, and although that is not incorrect, it's I think we came up with a catchier name.
We both liked EPNS. And then all three of us liked EPNS. And I thought Easton Park News and Sales. And you thought Easton Park Neighborhood Specialist. And I was like, I'm content, whatever it is, as long as we're bringing
value. We're doing this for the love of the community we live in, which is Easton Park, guys.
It's true. Y'all deserve to have this kind of information. We always see your questions and we love that. We know a lot of y'all move around even in Easton Park, so we want you to know what's going on.
Exactly. It's so important. And guys, we've been doing this for almost an entire year. Next month is our 1 year anniversary of doing continuous live streams on a monthly basis, the second Thursday of every month at 11 a.m. We have done this without fail, and I'm so proud of us for doing this. We've been bringing you content that will live in the YouTube space forever after we're done with our live stream. You can always go back. But yeah, if you have noticed and you go back to our live streams, there are changes and drastic changes that have been happening in the neighborhood. We've had news happening, events that you
kinds of developments.
Yes, development. So it's so exciting. And we will definitely get into what's going on for this month, and we'll finish out strong with our market stats. Now, we normally do have our resident spotlight, but it's such a busy month for so many folks this month, which is great, fantastic news. So with that being said, if you want to be a resident spotlight on our live stream, please
reach out to
and let us know. Yes. So without further ado, let us introduce ourselves. We are EP. Let me drink a little bit more coffee, Gabby. Hold on. Do you like?
Yeah, I'll start.
All right. You know what? Go ahead and start, Gabby. Go ahead and start.
So we are Easton Park Neighborhood Specialists, bringing you the news and sales for our development. We all live here. We work here. We play here. We love it here. We're missing our third little groupie, our group member right now, Araceli. We've all been crazy this month, like crazy busy. And she just had a client that needed her at this moment. We support that. So hats off to her. We're missing her, but show must go on. So we're here to give you guys,
absolutely,
here to give y'all those stats. I guess a little bit about me. I'm Brazilian. My family's from Brazil. I grew up in the North Texas area, and then I moved down to Austin as soon as I could. I love it here. I love the community. I have never found a community like it. And I sell all over the Austin area, but there is something so special about Easton Park. And I feel like it's a little too easy to overlook if you don't get these little snippets, like what we've been trying to bring to y'all. So hopefully you guys feel like this has been valuable, whether it's for tax protesting or decorations or just getting to know your neighborhood and support the small businesses. Yes. Hope it's working, but I'm glad to be here for y'all.
Yay. Thank you,
Liza.
And I'm Liza Brazel, also a realtor here in the community, born and raised here in Austin, Texas. And initially in East Austin is where I grew up. And East Austin, like Montopolis area. So what's crazy is that I moved all around the greater Austin area and then finally ended up settling here in Easton Park back in 2016. Then moved back downtown and then moved back here to Easton Park. So it's kind of crazy, the ride that I've been, but I love this community. And we just got together as a group of realtors. We all work independently, but the neat thing about it, we all work for the same brokerage. And we decided, you know what? More power to coming together and bringing these live streams and talking about what's happening in the neighborhood and talking about the market stats, because I think a lot of people don't know what's going on and the trends, right, of what's been happening.
And y'all are scared to reach out. I have noticed, I shouldn't say scared. Y'all are so considerate, darn considerate. We have to beg y'all to ask us for help. So we're like, you know what? We're going to start sitting down, and once a month, we're going to make time to meet with y'all. And
yes. And you know what? And then we love hosting events. By the way, we had our karaoke event recently, September 15th. That was a freaking blast. We got to meet so many of you guys. Y'all are wonderful. Y'all got to see the chill and cool side of us. And then now this month, well, actually, we'll get into that in a bit. There's certain events coming up. So what, you know what? I'm done introducing myself. Gabby, if you want to get into the events, you want me to pull up the slides?
Yeah, go ahead. Do you want to pull those up and we'll go?
Yes.
Okay.
So let me go. There you go.
Next one.
Next one.
There we go. Okay, so we have a few things that are just normal. It happens every month. Those are going to be the pack walk, the first Friday food trucks, and the yoga flow, as well as tabletop games and poker. So you'll see on the 14th, we're going to have a pack walk and yoga and the big poker game. Yoga is also going to be on the 11th, 18th, 21st, 25th, and 28th. Y'all see that little pink dot? The pink dot means it's yoga time. All right. The little paw print, that means it's the pack walk time. I'm very visual, so I had to reassess how we were doing this.
That's cute.
So we've got the big poker game on the 14th. The small poker game is on the 2nd of November. And then we've got the 55 and up socialites. They're meeting on the 21st and then again on the 2nd. And then we have the Wicked Walk, which I'm so excited for. And it's going to be the 5th annual Easton Park Wicked Walk. It's super fun. Go out, come see the neighbors. Bring a plastic cup with your choice of a beverage in it. If it happens to be a mimosa, nobody's going to judge you. But come out and have fun. It really is such a blast.
We're hosting a table there. So y'all should come by and say hi. We haven't figured out the logistics yet on how our booth is going to be, but we're working on that. But y'all should come see us on the 28th.
We've got some plans. We're going to have good vibes. We'll have music and we'll be there. We just can't wait to see your smiling faces, and we'll have some treats for y'all. And then on the 27th, there is the tabletop game night. That's at the Union as always. And you might notice there's some interesting little squiggles on the 16th, 17th, 18th, 19th, and 20th. That is there's a little fall camp. Okay. Aww. It is the cutest thing in the world. I think it's adorable. So they're having a whole fall camp, and you can either do drop-ins or you can do every day. You can do half days. And you register for that on Neighbor. So that's going to be held. It's really cool. It'll keep the kids active and playing. They'll probably get home and pass out. So that's a cool thing to look forward to. And then we're having the local garage sale on November 4th.
Ooh.
Everybody loves it. Can't really go wrong with the garage sale. If nothing else, you walk around, talk to the neighbors. People are friendly. It's a good time. So that's everything. And there was one last minute addition, which is on the 4th. And they're doing wings and roots, which, Liza, I swear, I got excited thinking we were going to get buffalo wings.
What is that?
I was like, are roots like potatoes? No. So there's going to be a whole celebration about the pollinators and the natives and how the birds and the bees comes to get not those. It's real cute. Okay. So they're going to be giving all kinds of having activities and tutorials for everything from composting to gardening to just little ways that you can help the environment. And that's going to be on the 4th. So you're welcome to go register for any little portions of it on Neighbor, and just make the most of it. But really want to encourage y'all to get out there. Huh?
That's awesome. I love that. Look at all these activities. This is why I love the neighborhood. There's always something going on that I think that's why a lot of us started getting together, and especially the HOA creating these events, because it did feel for a lot of neighbors that they had to go out.
Yes.
Out across town just to go out and have fun somewhere. Right. And we're kind of bringing that home here. That way folks don't feel like they have to leave the community in order to have a little funsies with the family or, anything adult oriented, such as 21 and up activities. But yeah, this is great. I love that we have so much going on. And not only that, the 55 plus, I love this. I love that they got together.
They have such a good time. Like, they recently told me I was allowed to go because they're like, y'all are still welcome. It's any families with someone 55 and over, but you can still come. And I was like,
Aww. Yeah, I'm going to.
Those girls are a blast. Yeah. So definitely get out there. I'm so excited. Even in like the last 2 years, I feel like there's been so much more to do here.
Yes.
Like, so much more at the truck yard, and then that bar.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. You know what? What was the bar called? Is it called Dive Bar? What was it called?
Shoot, is it out?
You know what? I don't know. But guys, there is a bar that a neighbor opened up off of 183 where that gas station is on. I want to say, is it Colton Bluff? No, not Colton Bluff.
It's where the liquor store used to be, right?
DG Collins. I think it's DG Collins Road and 183. It's where the old liquor store used to be at. He opened up a freaking bar, and I still have yet to go. It's just it's also been busy for me. Like, I had to fly out of state and go to an event and whatnot, and then take care of my clients. But I have not had a chance to go, and I would love to. I would love to. So I'm excited about that. You guys, please check it out. I'm definitely going to go out and support and see what all the buzz is about, because I can use a pint of beer. I like the dark beer.
And they have some like espresso martinis. They have a little area you can work from.
We should all go, Gabby. We should all go. We should go and just like, maybe that could be also, I don't know what time they open. I think they open like at sometime in the afternoon.
I think it's like just afternoon. I'll get back to you, because I know that they were doing like a soft opening and they were letting people show up at like one day, but I don't know if that's a standard. So I'll get back with you on that. But I know they've been working so hard on getting that place going, and it looks so chic.
I love it. We needed
effortless chic.
Yeah, we needed that in the neighborhood for sure. We definitely needed something like that. So I'm very excited about that. Maybe that can be our new hangout spot. But yeah, thank you so much, Gabby, for sharing this. Sure. I don't know if there was another. Is the next slide the market stats?
Yes, the next one's the market stats.
Okay, so let's go ahead and jump into that, guys. We're going to keep it short, sweet, and simple this live stream. But yeah, right to the meat of it. So here are the market stats for all of September and into October, since we are essentially mid-October. I just worked on these stats last night, so they're pretty recent. Right now in Easton Park, for resale homes. This does not include any new construction. For all the resale homes, we have 18 properties currently on the market. Those properties on average have been on the market for 69 days on average. And we have price points ranging anywhere between $415,000 and $855,000. Now, right now, we only have 2 pending properties. As of last night, 2 pending properties between the price range of $525,000 and $585,000. Those properties have averaged 24 days on the market. Now, here's where, especially with 2 properties, here's where it gets a little bit confusing, because there was one property with 49 days on the market and then the other one had less, which brought the average down. So just keep that in mind. Pay close attention to what currently is on the market, right on the market. We have 69 days and then what we closed at, right?
And so it's a good chunk that have been sitting there. You know, those 18, that's a good little number.
It is. It's a good number. And also, if y'all don't remember, so last month, our average days on market on the closed homes, it was nearly 2 weeks, 2 weeks less than this. So we are seeing
48.
Yeah, it was around 40 something days, I want to say. And so we had 9 properties that closed all of September and October, right? Between the price ranges of $410,000 and $725,000. And as you see, the price ranges, they're really not changing much. It's really the days on market. It's taking a lot longer now for a home to sell in this market. But we've had nine of them close recently. Now let's jump over to the new construction, because I didn't see really a lot of changes in the new construction. And also it was the same on the days on market. We have roughly the same price range between $362,000 and $846,000. Now there's going to be more new construction properties for sale. We have 48 of them. And the reason their days on market is longer is because with some of them, they don't start, how do I put it? they start selling when the houses aren't even complete yet. So it's going to take a lot longer for them to go off the market or be sold. And then this is also isn't including all of their inventory of sales. So it's exactly what I have access to here. But we are seeing 137 days on average for the current 48 properties that are currently on the market. There are 32 properties currently pending, and they're also averaging about 137 days before they go pending. Price range is a little bit higher, 372,000 and 957,000. And as you notice, on the prices here, we see almost $100,000 difference. So they're going on the market for less and also staying on the market for longer on the new construction.
And then, I know we touch on this every time, but I just want to make like a little short note of it because I feel like it's so important in case someone's just tuning in. The reason that Liza is saying that those numbers are longer in there, it doesn't account for all of the properties, is because a lot of times with the new builds, if something that's really desirable falls out of contract, whoever's already in touch with the sales reps is going to know about it first. So they kind of get, their clients kind of get first dibs. That's one of the reasons that we stay in such close contact with them. And so a lot of those properties don't actually end up hitting the market. A lot of the ones that you'd get, you know, you might see and be like, oh my gosh, that's stunning. How is this available? Those tend to get swooped up pretty quick. Exactly. And then the ones that they put on the market, like you said, those are the ones that they've had time to sit for a second. And then it's long enough for the sales team to go and actually put it on the market. So that's one of the reasons that we will always say that does not include everything that gets sold from the new builders, right?
Yeah, exactly. And then moving on to that, the closed sales, there was about 19 of them that closed. And it's kind of, it's crazy to me, like all the inventory that they have and 19 have closed for last month. This is going to be one of their higher price ranges. Obviously, they were under contract for a while, and they were marked at a higher price. Those averaged about 107 days on the market, between 409,000 and 956,000. Before I move on to leases, and exactly what our thumbnail suggested with creeping interest rates and our buyers fear in this market, I did want to touch on that buyer sentiment, guys. It's real. I'm telling you, the amount of listings that I've had hit the market are more than what I normally put out, right? And then the amount of buyers that are hesitant, right, that are wanting to put an offer, but they keep seeing these interest rates go up, which kind of prices. It's one of those things where they're fearing now wow, this is a lot higher than what I anticipated on my mortgage. Now, my personal experience with my buyers, and I'm normally heavy on the buyer side, is, wow, Liza, this mortgage is a lot more expensive than what I had initially prepared for. I'm going to have to hold off, right? Or in order for me to make this work, there's going to have to be a drastic price reduction, and the seller's going to have to help me with maybe buying down
the rate,
which helps. But yeah, all right, let me just put things into perspective on this. In order, let's take 500,000, right? A $500,000 house. In order for your interest rates right now are anywhere in the mid 7.5 to 8%, if not a little over, which is pretty high, but given relatively
literally twice what it was 2 years ago.
Exactly, which is why we're experiencing that pain.
Yeah, because even if you sell your home and you go and buy a new one, your monthly payment's going to be more, even if you're spending less for the home overall. Yeah. So I'm seeing the same thing with my buyers that you are.
Exactly. So I'm going to put some things into perspective. So on a $500,000 home, if you wanted to buy down the interest rate, this is what it looks like. And this is why it's a lot of money. All right. To buy down an interest rate, let's say you were quoted 8%, right? And you wanted to get down to, I want to say, let's say 7.5%. To buy down half a point, that's going to be 2 points on that mortgage. And what that means, it's going to be, you have your 1% of the 500,000, which is $5,000. So if you do 2%, that's now $10,000. So it's going to cost you $10,000 just to buy down the interest rate 0.5%. All right. So for every 1% of that purchase price, you can reduce it essentially on average 0.25%, right? So if you wanted to buy down a whole point, I'm sorry, a whole 1% on your interest rate, that's going to be nearly $20,000 to get the percent from 8% interest rate down to 7% interest rate. So that's a lot. That's a big chunk of money.
Can I add to that?
Yeah, go ahead.
I love how you're putting it into context. Another thing that I'm seeing with my buyers is if they have a certain amount that they plan to put down, there's a cap on the maximum seller concession.
Yes.
Right? Mm-hmm. So there's only so much that the seller can actually offer as far as money for you to buy down your rate. But I'm starting to see my sellers are being really open to offering 2-1 buy downs. Mm-hmm. And that seems to be making things a lot more palatable for the buyers. It's still terrifying, mm-hmm. but overall, are you seeing 2-1 buy downs as much as I am?
No, I'm not. There's a lot of uncertainty right now, and especially mm-hmm. with potential interest hikes, maybe, right? And here's the thing that I think buyers in this market have to understand, that if you're seeing the news, right, and you're watching other folks on social media and they're saying there's going to be another interest rate hike, and then on the other end, you're going to say interest rates will lower in 2024 or interest rates will lower in 2025. We really don't know what's going to happen, guys. None of that is a true statement, right? We have no idea what's going to happen in the future. And what I always say is, if what's going on now, what we have control of now is what our income looks like now, what interest rates look like now, what are the prices on the current market now, and what are sellers willing to do to get a buyer in the door. That's all we know now. And if what we know now, and if that looks good to you, to be able to purchase a home and it feels good, you're okay with the monthly payments, it's a good, clear vision of what you can expect, then that's a clear sign that you're a ready buyer, right, in this market. Now, if things are looking uncertain to you and you're not sure, or you're uncomfortable with the monthly payments, then perhaps you need to take a step back and reassess and see. It might make sense to wait a little bit longer. It might make sense to maybe look in a different price range to make this work. Whatever that vision looks like for you, you really need to assess carefully, because there's a lot of folks that last year when they bought, their taxes increased drastically and they cannot handle the mortgage payments. So please be mindful that it's not just your principal and your interest. You got to include the taxes. You gotta anticipate, well, what are taxes going to be like when before my homestead exemption kicks in, right? What is that going to look like for me? You have to understand this. And I know it's not a way, like, we in no way operate to get buyers in. Oh, buy the house, you'll be fine. No. That is no way. Not with something such a big.
Even if they have earnest money down, right? Because I have a few who have been under contract for a while. They're super excited about the house, but they know they're going to have to sell and then buy.
Exactly.
And only some of those deals have the interest rate, the little perks that they're offering now. So my folks are now looking at what they were originally expecting, maybe 6%. Mm-hmm. Now they're looking at 8%.
Right.
And is it really wise to move forward? So now we're talking about going to the builder and saying, hey, if we can't get it down to something like this, we're going to have to cancel, even if that means losing $20,000, $50,000 in earnest money. Mm-hmm. To them, the amount of stress it will cause to close at the current interest rate isn't worth it. It's not financially responsible.
Right.
And so we're trying.
Yeah.
But it's like you're saying, we have to hope for the best, but plan for the worst. And if you're not going to be okay if things go downhill, then it might not be as good of an idea to buy as we would like it to be, right? Yeah. And I say the same thing with the 2-1 buyers. It's like, this is going to help buy down the rate for now. But if you already can't afford what it will end up at, it's kind of, you're gambling on whether or not you're going to be able to afford your home in the future. And that's a pretty dangerous thing, right? So it's a pretty complex market right now to deal with, since so many people have those low interest rates already on their current homes. And it doesn't make a lot of sense to move from that to a much higher payment.
For some people it does, right? For some, everybody has a unique situation that they're currently in, whether they're dual income or single income, whatever that is. You just have to, you gotta power yourself with this knowledge. know the expectations up front, and then that will empower you to make a good decision with confidence, right?
You have to keep your goal, like long-term and short-term goal, always in mind. Keep going in that direction.
Essentially, that's all it is. Despite inflation, despite interest rates increasing, decreasing, what sellers are doing to get buyers through the door, whatever that information is, empower yourself with that so you can make a solid decision, right? And also,
there's no one size fits all in real estate.
Exactly.
Never
with new construction, however, a lot of them, they're aware of the high interest rates, right? So a lot of them are offering great incentives too. There are some builders out there that are offering 5% interest rate, right, to get buyers in the door. You just have to be careful, make sure that is good. That's going to be a locked in interest rate until the day you close. And how long is that closing date, right? Because because
most of those 5%, the promotional rates, it's like, if you close within the next 60 days.
And what if you don't, right? So you gotta prepare yourself. Like here's the other thing. Always be curious and ask a lot of questions, right? If something sounds really, really good, like it's a darn good incentive, start asking questions to better prepare you, just in case if something were to happen, what move do you need to make, right? Exactly. So you got to understand, how good is that interest? How long is that interest rate good for? Because if they can't close within the 60 days, does that mean it's gone? Not necessarily. You just got to get clarification from them and get it in writing, right?
Yes.
To protect you, especially for new construction homes. It's not really the case with resale homes. Resale homes is whatever you write on contract with the seller, whatever that agreement is, whatever's on paper, make sure you get it on paper and it's a done deal. Because with resale homes, it's essentially ready to go.
Those tend to go in 30 to 60 days. So usually right at the end of option period, people lock in their interest rate, right? Exactly. So for resale, it's not as much of a potential surprise as with a new build, where they're really not sure what kind of interest rate they're looking at in 6 months. So exactly. I love the approach of go in with curiosity, ask everything you can, and don't assume you're going to offend anybody by asking if they can adjust something due to current market situations changing.
Exactly.
Like you said, they know what's going on. So instead of being like, oh no, we have to cancel because we can't make it work. No, let's try to troubleshoot it. Let them know you're struggling with that idea, if that's your case, you know. But I love the approach of curiosity. That's always one of my favorite tools.
Always stay curious, my friends. That's a true statement. Now going back to the residential homes. So we're looking at nearly 2 months on the market before the house sells, right? On average. So if you're a seller in this market, this is what you can expect to be on the market. About almost 2 months on the market before it sells. Prices are staying somewhat the same. You may have to go up through a few price reductions, test the market, maybe run like a weekly analysis to see what's going on. And on the new construction side, we're looking at nearly 4 months on the market. So just so you can get an idea of what's going on, 2 months versus the 4 months on new construction.
Oh, and to add to that, I think it's so good to know for sellers to realize that there are the different approaches. So if you have to sell really fast, we're going to recommend that you price it really competitively, because it's probably going to cost you a lot more to have it sitting on the market.
Yeah.
And if you have more flexibility, it's not quite as dangerous for you to price it at what you think you could get for it and then do an adjustment. Right. But you have to be really considerate of your goals and what not accomplishing what you want to accomplish would cost you. So that's kind of a balance that I always like to talk about with my sellers of like, if you want me to sell this house tomorrow, I can. But at the same time, I say that's a hyperbole. I want to be real clear.
Right.
But it's like, if we price it really well, ultimately we can sell it fast. It's just, if it's really important to you to get a certain amount and you don't mind waiting a little more, there's different strategies for it. And it's nice to set those weekly touch-ins so that you can talk about the strategy based on what we saw during the weekend and the open houses and all the market activity that we heard of.
Exactly. Yeah. And then also know your scenarios, right? What does it look like if you were to price it? What would you net if you were to price it at a lower price, right? And what that could potentially do for you versus pricing it at a different price and staying on the market longer. I mean, we got to run all these scenarios so you're comfortable making a decision on either lowering the price or starting out at a specific price, or maybe waiting and timing the market, right? Like there's so many scenarios.
Even with listing, right? Yeah. Because it's like, okay, well, if we were to get an offer at this, would that be worth it for you?
Right.
Or would you feel like, oh no, you'd rather still wait? Well, let's talk about it. Like, what are the odds based on the absorption rates and all of the fun stuff? There's a lot to consider, right?
Yeah.
But this is fun, y'all.
Exactly. No, and I think that's so important. I think on average, 5 to 10% is what folks are offering on homes, less than what they're being listed for. So you can maybe expect that, maybe not. If you price it correctly, it might just sell for exactly what you priced it at. But just something to keep in mind, always be mindful of the stats. They do change as other things are happening out with interest rates, right? And buyer sentiment is so important to understand. So yeah, just be aware of everything else that's going on, and keep it citywide, and then niche it down to the neighborhood to see what's going on in the neighborhood. So that's gold nuggets that I can offer there to help you understand what's happening. Also, alternatively, not everybody's going to want to buy or sell. Here we come into the leases. So for leases, we have currently 14 of the homes available on the market, as you see here on the map. 10 of them have leased already. We have 3 that are currently pending. And when you see the higher price points, like in the 7,000 price point that you see there for the active, normally what that means is they're either partially or fully furnished. Now, just know that the trends here in the neighborhood, and I can't speak for all the other neighborhoods because this live stream is for Easton Park, but the trends here in the neighborhood, homes that are furnished do lease for more, right? They're going to lease for more money. And it's amazing how much more you can lease it for. So on average, we're used to seeing anywhere between $22,000 to $3,000 on average. But here we have the $7,000 mark. So I'm curious to see what that one's going to go for. And you see here in the pending, we have nearly $2,100 to almost $3,000, and the 3 of the homes are pending currently in that price range. And here's on the lease side, we have 1,400. Now, don't be alarmed. If for those that don't know the Easton Park neighborhood, we do have garage apartments and or studios, right? We have casitas. We have ADUs here in the community, and it's a good cash flow for those that are currently own here in the neighborhood, and they're renting out their casita or their ADU or their apartment.
Packed.
Yes,
they're constantly booked, y'all. I have been so impressed.
And this is what, and for those, I want to say, I don't remember what the average square footage, but I want to say it's anywhere between 600 to 700 in square footage, and you're getting the $1,400 a month for those. Now on the higher end, the 3,350, that's about average in the neighborhood. We have 10 that have leased, and last month we averaged about 41 days, if I'm not mistaken. And now we're at 28 days. Now, this does vary with leases because, again, we have such a wide range of types of properties that do go on the market for lease, from ADUs to really, really big houses to unfurnished homes to furnished homes. So these days are going to fluctuate. But depending on where you're at, if you're wanting to lease out your home, we're going to have to look at the specifics between furnished and unfurnished, and the size of home. Or if you're wanting to lease in Easton Park, this is what you're looking at, right? If you want to live in a garage apartment and taste out the neighborhood, you're looking at possibly $1,400 a month. If you're wanting to live in a bigger size residential home, anywhere between, I want to say 2,500 and up in square footage, this is about the average what you're looking at: 3,000, 3,300, possibly more, close to 4,000. Depending on the size of the home. But I don't know if you had any other thoughts on that, Gabby, on the leases?
Yeah, no, I think it's just worth noting, and we see this in a lot of neighborhoods, but it's worth noting that during that first little bit of school, things did slow down a little.
Yeah.
And I don't think that's coincidence. We do tend to see that every year, right?
Mm-hmm.
So at the end of the day, I think that's part of the timing aspect that we always talk about of, be prepared. You have to know what's going on in the greater neighborhood. I like how you put it. Start with the macro and go down to the micro.
Yeah.
Get into the micro neighborhood and see, based on your goals, what is going to give you the best chance of hitting those goals.
Yeah.
sometimes that just means holding off until, you know, a couple weeks right after school starts so that you're not in the middle of chaos season building up days on market. But yeah, that's the only thing I thought of while you were going through. You covered everything
No,
beautifully.
absolutely. And it's so important to understand. The reason I say we need to go from, you know, citywide and then niche down to like the specific neighborhoods is because it is different. Like I have a sister that lives in New Braunfels and I have another sister that lives in Seguin. And the New Braunfels market, we're averaging about, we're nearing now 4 months on the market average. So if you look here in Austin and then you know, kind of narrow down to Easton Park, we're looking at 2 months average on the market. So, and it's not the same for every neighborhood and it's not the same for the entire city. So you do have to kind of narrow down. And even then, depending on the type of home, this is a general, going back here to the resale home, this is generalized. We're what we're including here. And if you don't already know, Easton Park has condos and single family residential homes, right? We have the detached condos here, that standalone condos here in Easton Park, townhomes, and then that are 2 bedrooms. And then we go all the way up to the bigger bedrooms, right? And they're all over Easton Park. And this is why you see the drastic on the price differences from $415 all the way up to $855 on what's currently active on the market.
I just thought of something.
Go ahead. Yeah.
Okay, so one of the neighbors here in Kiki Park mentioned it this week, and they saw the plans for what's going up on Sassman.
Yeah.
And the proposed usage is going to be commercial residential. And I don't know about you, but usually when I see detached condos like what we have in UPE and UPW, it's zoned residential, you know?
Yeah.
So that's sounding a lot like something that you would see in Mueller.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of excited for that, for there to be potentially multifamily housing and shopping or activities and stuff right here.
Yeah. Kind of like what they have. I don't know. I really don't know what the design aspect of it would be, but kind of like what they have out on St. Elmo and Congress.
Yes.
It's kind of like that concept. You live, work, play. Exactly. You have your business downstairs and then you go upstairs and you live there. You know, you go to sleep, go to bed.
And like across from Goodnight Ranch, they're doing the same thing where they're building out more stuff to do. So I feel like this area is growing like crazy right now.
Yeah. And let me tell you something interesting. So years, before the pandemic, what a lot of people would do, it wasn't really a localized hub of where you would hang out. It was kind of trending that way. But really what people would do, they would go into town. And when I mean into town, I mean downtown or around downtown, have their little fun, and then go back home. And then after the pandemic, people started staying in their neighborhood. And a lot of folks started noticing it was a trend to just stay within your neighborhood and have your fun activities within the neighborhood. And that's what we've evolved to, such as the Mueller concept. That's why the Mueller concept worked out so great. Southeast Austin is implementing that too. We're having a lot more stuff happening and popping up because that is the concept that's happening, right? It's what's trending.
And people want community. Like people really genuinely want to live and play and have their people close by so that they get to see them every day. I mean, there's something kind of priceless about that, right?
Exactly.
So, I'm so excited for it. I can't wait to see how it comes along.
Yeah, I'm excited too. I mean, it's taken years. I know there's been a lot of complaints that there hasn't been any movement, right? Not even breaking ground.
And now it's
retail,
everywhere.
And now it's happening everywhere. So it is exciting to see how this is going to look, what businesses are going to be in, because I know some of them have pulled out, and who really knows, right? We've been promised so many things, but the thing is, with patience is key. So we hope and pray that it's going to be something we're all going to enjoy, and hopefully so. I'm hoping the developers really thought this one out on it, but we're not even done with Easton Park. We still have years to go.
They have so many more homes planned and home sites that are already bought, and they're working on getting permitted and all of this stuff. And that feels really encouraging to me, because I know with a lot of communities, you know, once they're built out, it can kind of feel like, oh, and now the fun kind of dies down. But as it is now, Brookfield is heavily invested in the culture of Easton Park.
Yes.
There's a reason, you know, that we
get to do. Skyline Park. Oh my God.
Splash pad.
So excited about that. I know y'all are feeling that energy, I live across from it. So it's so exciting to see that. Look, I feel like a little kid, all right, because I am a kid at heart. And I'm gonna, when that's completed, that's gonna be my hangout spot. It's literally walking distance. I'm gonna walk over there, hang out, I don't know, have a picnic, whatever.
Yes.
I mean, it's gonna be so much fun. And really, how do I put it? I
think it's gonna change the entire
yeah.
Yeah, I think it's going to change the vibe of the neighborhood. I think it's going to bring us together because we like the union, but I've noticed a lot of people here are also outdoorsy.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of us just like to be in open air. And so to have a place where you can take the kids and you can kind of take the dogs and you can have the open air and the view of the skyline. I'm
so do. Excited. I'm excited about it too. Could you? Yeah, you're right. Because I noticed when I drive on, is it Apogee? I don't know. When I drive out there, actually, when I drive back towards Colton Bluff, oh my gosh, that beautiful skyline. It is so beautiful. Whoever has the houses out there, I'm jealous because I'm out here. Y'all are up here. Y'all see that beautiful sky. I'm right here. I see your house, but I don't see the skyline. So I'm jealous.
Most of us don't see the skyline.
Yeah.
But we're all going to have a place to go and see the skyline where we can, from far away, just be like, oh, look how beautiful downtown Austin is. Lovely. And we're just going to enjoy it from over here in our happy little corner.
We get to walk in it. All right, Gabby. But anyways, guys, I know we went off on a tangent on it. All right. Going back to the tone of the buyer sentiment. That's where it's at. That's what I'm experiencing personally. That's what a lot of my colleagues are, Gabby included. It is a bit intimidating, right, for a lot of buyers out there. So we
and for sellers,
for that,
too,
like for sellers too.
There's never been a more important time. I will say that there's never been a more important time to invest in your listing, to really polish it, really make it show up on its best foot, get those pre-inspections done, do everything you can to give buyers peace of mind, because right now it is going really, really far.
Thank you for mentioning that. And you made such a good point. So 2021 into 2022, you didn't have to do anything necessarily. The house sold before it sold. I don't know how to put it.
People were lining up at the door.
People were buying houses. Now you gotta put some work into it, right? Pictures, curb appeal, staging it, pre-inspections. You're gonna have to do the whole 9.
Because the buyers are going to be paying a hefty amount of money to be getting into that house. And yes, they hope to refinance, but you have to make it worth their time. You have to give them a chance to really see themselves there and enjoy it. And they don't want to walk in there and see you. They want to see a version of a cozy blank slate, right?
Exactly.
So there's a lot we can do with that. I know you are also highly a big fan of quality marketing, which
absolutely,
God bless. There's it's invaluable. It's so invaluable. But I do like to throw that out because as much as things are kind of chilling, there are still things we can do for the people who, like you said, some people just need to move. And we have to find a way to make it work and make it make sense for them.
Exactly. Yeah. Make it not so scary. So that's what I mean, just my thoughts. All right. Just my thoughts.
No, I think you're on the right track. Yeah. I know it's going to be a little bit of a tough time for people to feel confident in, but if we're doing our jobs and really keeping them in the loop and showing them all the information, they're going to have what they need to make the best choices for themselves and their family.
Absolutely. Yeah, and that's what it boils down to, because it is a big item to move. All right. It's not a cell phone that you just purchase. All right. It's a freaking house. So
anyway, everything you've worked towards and saved and invested, you're putting it into this. So you better make sure it's going to take good care of you.
Yes. So I hope that was helpful to you guys. I feel pretty comfortable about ending the live stream. What do you think, Gabby?
I think we're golden. We've given as much as we can give today.
Yeah. So, and again, guys, if you do want to reach out to us, please do so. We're on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. We're on all the
social
platforms. We don't bite. Message us, text us, email us, DM us, and we are here to help you and our neighbors or anybody that's looking to move into Easton Park. We go live every month on the second Thursday at 11 a.m. Again, guys, we are EPNS, and we are out. Peace.